Every good story has to come to an end.
They always do.
But we're going to go out with a bang and tell this story the way it should be.
Outlander Season 8 is officially on the way, and while it's shaping up to be pretty different from Diana Gabaldon's novels, that doesn't mean the show can just toss out everything from the books. In fact, there are a few key storylines that really need to be included. Fans already got a big hint in Season 7 that the show isn't afraid to go off script, especially with the twist about Faith Fraser potentially surviving her stillbirth, which was a major shift from what happens in the books. Because of that surprise, we know the showrunners aren't sticking 100% to the source material anymore. But it's not like they're completely abandoning it either. There are still a bunch of plot points from the books that would work great for the final season, and honestly should be part of how the series wraps up. Now, each season of Outlander has usually lined up with one of Gabaldon's books, but things started getting a little more complicated in Season 7. Since Season 8 is the final chapter of the Starz series, the writers kind of had no choice but to pick and choose elements from the last few novels to tie everything up. Most of Season 8 will be based on the 9th book, Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone, though not every detail will make it in. And that's probably a good thing. Let's start with something fans are really hoping for, Brianna and Roger reuniting with Jamie and Claire in the past. In Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone, that's exactly what happens. They head back through the stones and return to Frasers Ridge in 1779. And given how Season 7 ended, with the couple weighing their options, it seems like that's where they're headed in the show too. This reunion would be such a heartfelt moment, and it's honestly hard to imagine Outlander ending without it. Brianna being back with her parents just feels right. And there's also this fun idea from the book. She brings some 20th century books along with her, like The Lord of the Rings. Just picture Jamie reading that. It'd be such a cool little Easter egg and a great way to show that connection between the centuries. Of course, there's more than just sweet family moments ahead. There's also a war brewing. Outlander Season 7 already started building up to the American Revolution making its way to North Carolina, and that storyline will definitely continue into Season 8. Back in Season 7, Jamie left the Continental Army after Claire got shot, deciding to return to Frasers Ridge. But even he knew that decision wouldn't sit well with his superiors, and he was right. In the books, Jamie ends up having to put his uniform back on and get back into the fight. The war comes right to Frasers Ridge, and Jamie's got to step up to defend his land and family. One interesting twist from the novels? Brianna actually brings a history textbook written by Frank Randall that outlines where major Revolutionary War battles happened, including ones near their home. In Season 7, we saw Bree flipping through one of Frank's books, though there's a solid chance that detail might be pulled into Season 8. It'd be a clever way to tie things together. Now here's a dynamic that hasn't been fully explored yet, but definitely should be: Brianna and William. In the books, once William finds out that Jamie is his biological father, something the show also revealed in Season 7, he slowly starts to connect with his new family. His relationship with Jamie takes some time, but they eventually bond. And the same goes for Brianna. Neither of them grew up with siblings, so it's a brand new experience for both of them. It's actually pretty sweet to watch them get to know each other in the books, and it'd be a missed opportunity if the show didn't take the time to build that relationship on screen too. Especially now, with this whole storyline about Faith Fraser possibly being alive, adding another sibling into the mix could lead to some really emotional and meaningful scenes between William and Bree. But not all the book-based characters are getting their moment in the final season. One fan favorite who won't be coming back is Jenny Murray, Jamie's sister. Even though she was featured in Season 7, played by Kristen Atherton this time around, since Laura Donnelly couldn't return, the showrunner confirmed that we've seen the last of her. In Gabaldon's books, Jenny eventually moves to North Carolina after her husband dies. But in Season 7, she turned down Jamie's offer to join him and Claire in the colonies. She said she might come later, but wasn't ready just yet. That little line gave viewers some hope she'd pop up again in Season 8. Sadly, that's not happening. Showrunner Matthew B. Roberts explained the reasoning behind it, saying that only the elements directly affecting Jamie and Claire are being kept in. Since Jenny's presence isn't essential to wrap up their story, she's being left out. And while that makes sense from a writing standpoint, it still stings, especially after that beautiful graveyard scene in Season 7. That graveyard scene between Jenny and young Ian was one of the most touching moments of the season. Jenny brought Ian to Lallybrook's cemetery to show him a grave she'd made for Isabel, his infant daughter who died in North Carolina, someone Jenny never got the chance to meet. It was such a powerful, emotional scene, and Atherton really held her own in it, which is impressive considering she had to step into a well-loved role last minute. That scene added so much depth to Jenny's character, and it honestly would have been great to see her again in Season 8, especially with Ian and Rachel expecting a child. Watching Jenny become a grandmother and reconnect with Ian as he starts his own family, that would have been a lovely way to close out her story, but again, it's just not in the cards. Viewers who want to see more of Jenny's journey will have to turn to the books instead. So even though Outlander Season 8 is venturing off the beaten path and making some changes from the books, there are still a handful of important stories it needs to tell. Brianna and Roger returning to the past, the Revolutionary War reaching Fraser's Ridge, and William building a relationship with his half-sister Brianna, these are all moments that would add depth, emotion, and closure as the show wraps up. There are always going to be differences when adapting a long-running book series for TV, but the heart of Outlander has always been its characters and their relationships. So even if certain plot points get trimmed or rearranged, the final season still has the chance to honor the story's spirit and give fans the meaningful farewells they've been waiting for. And hey, if Jamie gets to read The Lord of the Rings along the way, even better. Lastly, Season 8 seems to be paving the way for Adewahi's return, and that's something fans should definitely keep an eye out for. Claire met Adewahi back in Season 4, and they quickly formed a bond. She was a Cherokee healer with this calm, otherworldly presence, and even though Claire usually gives the side eye to anything supernatural, she knew there was something special about Adewahi. Her prophetic dreams hinted at the future, warning Claire of her own death and speaking of her as this magical healer. What's interesting is that Adewahi was the first person since Master Raymond to call out Claire's mystical healing abilities. Not just the surgical stuff, but something deeper. She said Claire would embrace her full power when all her hair turned white, which feels symbolic, right? Especially now that Master Raymond might also return and Faith's new storyline is unfolding. Even though Adewahi died not long after we met her, there's still a connection between her and Claire that could show up again, maybe in a dream or vision. And if she really does share that same blue aura that Master Raymond talked about, then maybe Adewahi is a healer and a time traveler too. Outlander Season 8 might finally reveal the truth. And that's what we have to say about Season 8. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Outlander has been an incredible chapter of our lives.
And we can't wait to bring the last season to you guys.
And we hope that we do you proud, and we are very, very grateful. So thank you.